thing. We're live now.
Okay.
Yeah, we're live. We're live. Hey, everybody. It's the notorious, glorious V, the Girl Economist, and I'm coming to you live with my main man, El Cuco. Will give you the news, the views, and all the information important to you. Check us out, RogueNews.com. Follow us on Twitter at RealRogueNews. Rogue News on every single podcasting app known to humanity. We are there. We are there. We are there with a bag of chips. That is all of us. That is doing what we do. And we're presenting everyone. And with that being said, Siege, what's crack lacking, bro?
Doing great, V. But I also, real quick, want to thank our listeners for supporting Rogue News and everything that we're doing over the weekend with Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Small Business Saturday. We had a lot of orders that flowed into my CBD edibles. So I just want to send some love and say thank you to those listeners who made purchases. So I appreciate that.
Yep, absolutely. And folks, check out mycbdedibles.com. Awesome place to get your CBD edibles on your edible fix. Go there, whether it's coffee, whether it's chocolate peanut butter, pecan truffles, whatever it is, just go there and check it out. And also check out the Gadfly, folks. Gadfly, we just did a show on the Gadfly. We uploaded it there. That is the place to get it done. And see, there you go. There's the site right there. Boom. Check it out on. And you'll be able to join. Right now, we were able to log in with your email. It locks that in, and you can go there and listen to the shows that we've created. We're there. Jim Willie's there. London Paul's there, and Ken Shorjan is there. And also, guys, check out the Watch Us Trade Room. Go to what.live, WT.live, Watch Us Trade, or you can go to watchustrade.io. Watch Us Trade, one word, .io. And with that being said, CJ, what is crack-a-lacking yet again, my friend? What is new? What is new?
I'm doing great. I'm still getting used to the adjustment going from the Gadfly and then YouTube. It's just minor tweaks and stuff like that, but just still getting kind of used to that flow. But it feels good to be back here on YouTube. That we're not going to neglect the past 2.5 years of work that we've done here to build our subscriber base, build our audience, the people that have showed us a lot of love and everything. So it's good to be back, V.
Absolutely. It is good indeed to be back, my man. It's good indeed to be back. Anyway, let's get into it, my man. Let's get into a lot of things are going on. I did a great commentary and analysis of one of the things that we always harp on and speak about, and that is the concept of empire and how stupid empire is and how it bankrupts a nation. And one of the things I want to talk about is there's a lot of hype. And there's a lot of hype talking about the China trade thing and war, and we're going to lead to war. It could be a shooting war. Trade wars lead to shooting wars, and shooting war turn to nuclear wars, and then end of all life on Earth, and yada, 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 so on and so forth. China ambassador warns of dire consequences if no deal, and hints at all-out war. Earlier today, Trump's chief economic advisor, Larry Kudlow, Cocaine Kudlow, before we call him Cocaine Kudlow, because back in the Wall Street days, Larry did enough cocaine to kill a horse. So he got the name Cocaine Kudlow. Cocaine Kudlow poured cold water on expectations for an imminent resolution of the U.S.-China trade war, when he said that negotiations in the run-up to this week's G20 talks haven't yielded any progress. And unless something changes, the administration will move ahead with the next phase of tariffs. Things have been moving very slowly between the two countries, Kudlow said, adding that it was up to Xi to come up with new ideas to break the deadlock. And echoing a report from the U.S. Trade Representative published earlier this morning, Kudlow said that there hasn't been much of a change in China's approach. We can't find much change in their approach, Kudlow told reporters. President Xi may have a lot more to say in the bilateral with Mr. Trump, and I hope if he does. By the way, I think we all hope he does, but at that moment we don't see it. Just a few hours later, a report by Reuters confirmed that Cocaine Kudlow won't be seeing it for a long time because, according to China's ambassador to the U.S., Cui Tiankai, China is going to this week's G20 summit hoping for a deal to ease a damaging trade war with the United States, even as he warned of dire consequences if U.S. hardliners, read the trade hawks led by Peter Navarro, try to separate the two world's largest economies. Interesting. So, asked whether he thought hardliners in the White House were seeking to separate the closely linked U.S. and Chinese economies, Q said that he did not think it was possible or helpful to do so, but warned that I don't know if people really realize the possible consequences, the impact, the negative impact, if there is such a decoupling. He followed up by a surprisingly strong statement that even more shocking comment in which Tian Kai went so far as to tacitly hint that the lessons of history suggest that if there is no deal, what comes next could be a greater depression or end conventional war. Kai said, the lessons of history are still there. In the last century, we had 2 world wars, and in between them, the Great Depression. I don't think anybody should really try to have a repetition of history, but these things should never happen again, so people have to act in a responsible way. And the article goes on and on. You could read it at your leisure. So the hype becomes, Siege, war with China, right?
The new boogeyman, V. The new boogeyman.
The new boogeyman. The new boogeyman is, oh, look at the aggression. Chinese aggression of the South China Seas. China takes 6, count them, 6 islands. And what happens? China takes 6 islands and nothing. I'm sorry, not nothing, but the entire Western world has, specifically the United States, gets their panties in a bunch. It just irritates them and irks them to no end.
Panties or thong, B. Panties or thong?
Thongs, definitely thongs.
Sorry,
yes.
Go ahead.
frilly thongs, my friend. Frilly thongs. Yes. Secondly, Malaysia would take 20-some-odd islands. Nobody says nothing. Philippines takes 20-some-odd islands. Vietnam takes 20-some-odd islands. Nobody says anything. China takes 6 islands in the South Pacific, in the South China Seas. In order to protect the Strait of Malacca, which is their vital energy choke point, and all hell breaks loose in Washington, D.C. It's unacceptable. Unacceptable because a strategic advantage we had their nuts in the vice. Energy and commodity and economically speaking. But with the Strait of Malacca, the power of the Strait of Malacca, or the advantage that the United States Navy had in the Strait of Malacca, has been completely nullified between those 6 islands that China has built, as well as weapon systems that can sink an aircraft carrier. Weapon systems to which the United States military has no defense for. So this is a huge thing. So this is a big problem. So people have been saying, especially with the U.S. floating ships back and forth all across the South China Seas, with all the rhetoric, even the Chinese saying, yeah, it could even lead to conventional war, this, that, and the other. Even them saying that, playing a game, folks. But you have to understand one thing and one thing only. And I've detailed this in the Gadfly. You got to go to the Gadfly report. See, when will that be up? Sometime today, right?
Yeah, it's processing right now. Yeah,
okay, it's processing right now. It'll be up soon on the Gadfly. If you go to the gadfly.vhx.tv, you get over there, you check it out. I just explained this whole entire thing, soup to nuts, with utter and beautiful detail, the only way the gorilla knows how to do it. And the situation there is pretty clear. You see, years ago, folks, decades ago, we've handed the detonators of our own destruction like a bunch of morons to the entire world. That detonator is the U.S. treasuries. The way you kill the U.S. military, the way you put an end to it from moving, the way you stop it from putting fuel into its aircraft carriers, the way you stop it from putting fuel into its jets, is simply by cutting and killing off the dollar. That's it. You kill the dollar, you put an end to the machinery. And that's what this whole entire talk is about. Putting an end to the machinery. And that, everything else, folks, everything else, if you think China is going to start a conventional war, which will only go nuclear, because a conventional war is something that they cannot win against the United States at the time. They could take out the Navy, no problem, but the Air Force and the Army that on the Chinese side is significantly wanting. Okay, significantly wanting. So they'd have to go nuclear. And nobody's going to sit back and risk a nuclear exchange. This is simply not going to happen. Period.
Good. I want to let you finish your thought. Go ahead.
So what's going to happen is the only option that we will give China is to kill the dollar. And when you kill the dollar, you kill the very energy, the very lifeblood that keeps the military incompetent complex as the acting nexus on which all chaos spins. And we put an end to the damn empire, which is killing us in the process. Either the republic lives or the empire dies. I mean, two things. Either you're going to have an empire which will absolutely wreck and devastate you, or you have a republic where freedom lives, where there's constitutional liberties, where there's a thriving economy, where there's individual freedoms that we enjoy. Either one or the other. You have to decide. Is it a republic or is it an empire? Because if it is an empire, we will go the way of Rome. We will go the way of Greece. We will go the way of the English. We cannot have that. Siege.
No, very well said. And it's going to be important for our listeners here, for the Gadfly listeners, that we're going to hear a lot. And, we already have the past 2 to 3 months with this whole China is the aggressor, that Russia is the aggressor. The neocons, the banksters, they need that new boogeyman. This is no different than in years past when they utilized that ISIS and Al Qaeda, and we got to fight the war on terror. All these things that they utilized the U.S. media for, that they utilize social media for. To now, am I saying that Russia, China, they're perfect societies? No, but that doesn't exist. That doesn't exist. That perfect society. So when you hear that, I think there's some fundamental questions you should ask yourself, and that is, which is the last country that China or Russia invaded? Which are the last time that they have utilized proxy wars to dominate, to control? And in part, you're going to find that it's tough to see where that's happening. However, when you look at the U.S. and you look at what we've done, listen, can we change the ship? Can we change things around? I tell you what, it's going to be a battle because the neocons, they're going to do everything that they can. So when you see on social media with, China's, cloned the first 2 babies, out of hybrids, and it's completely violation of, you're going to hear this more and more. I know that the Gadfly listeners, I know our YouTube subscribers, they're much more intelligent to believe all this rhetoric that's going to be ratcheted up the next several months with, labeling. They're already doing it in Crimea with this whole Russian thing, with these ships that have coming out from Ukraine. That look at all this as it's happening. They're showing old video footage of Russian military jets, flying around that occurred back in March or April, and they made it sound like it happened yesterday. We're going to hear a lot more of this, folks. We just are. So be do your research, do the right thing. Understand what they're trying to accomplish here, and that's just simply by labeling these countries as the aggressor. We need to turn this around. We need to build relationship. It's a big world. It's a big world, and there's plenty of opportunities for economic development around the globe for all of us. It doesn't have to be U.S. hegemony and U.S. dollar dominance. It doesn't have to be that. That's gotten us nowhere. So those are just my thoughts, V.
No, man, very well said. Very well said. And unless we deal with the reality of the debt crisis, and one of the things I talked about in the Gadfly video that will be up today is this debt crisis. We're facing a massive debt crisis, and nothing has taken us off that track. That reality that we're hitting full speed into that wall. I mean, what's he going to do? And something's got to give. Something's got to give, and I think we're at the crossroads, Siege. I think we're in the crossroads. We're in the crossroads of either A, we're going to have the republic and the type of country that we all hoped and dreamed about, or we're going to go the way of a rotting empire that is basically on the verge of collapse. And it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty, but we have to choose. We have to choose.
Yep, absolutely.
Anyway, man, that's basically what we've covered today. It's going to be, pretty short show. CJ, anything else you want to touch base on?
Just, that we're getting ready to, early next week, we're looking at expanding on the Gadfly, adding the ability to do live shows there. Next week, early, we're going to be having our first roundtable discussion. Yesterday when I was talking with Paul, it's kind of funny. I was laughing with Paul because he's like, I've worked with Jim Willie for the past how many years, but we've never done any type of commentary, any type of work together in terms of media.
It's be a treat having those two, man.
Yeah, so it's going to be a lot of fun bringing that roundtable discussion. It's going to be scheduled early next week, probably Monday or Tuesday, 11 a.m. So it's not too early to get over there, take advantage. You're within that 7-day window. Just go ahead and try it. Just go over there. You have to put your debit card in there, but if you're not happy within those 7 days, you can just cancel. I think when you get there, you're going to love the content that's being produced there, and more people are going to start drifting away from YouTube. I mean, I'm hearing already some commentary, some of the YouTube channels, primarily because they're 90% of the ad revenue that YouTube used to generate and pay contributors, it's gone, and they're taking all that money from the contributors. That's why when you see some of the channels now, they're doing like 2 and 3 shows a day and releasing 14 videos a week and stuff. They're having to counter all that at lost revenue by just creating more and more content and working even harder and harder. So it doesn't make any sense. So just please consider get over first roundtable discussion scheduled for early next week.
Absolutely. It's worth it. 7 days free. Join it. It's less than $10 a month. If you want to join for the whole year, it's less than 100. So it's money well spent. We're there, and we're going to expand. This is going to be, this is going to be the initial thing. We'll have a Gadfly app for both iOS and Android eventually, and the site will be even better. We're doing this right now on a shoestring budget, trying to put all the resources and whatnot together. So I want to thank all of you that have hopped over and supported us and supported all of our paid sponsors. We can't thank you enough, man. We really can't thank you enough. And I also excuse me. I know I haven't been, as active on YouTube as of late. This has been a very, very busy fall and winter season. I've never been this busy in my entire life, with especially work, with all the things that I have to do. A lot of the broker stuff that I do, basically my day-to-day life, my day job. It's not really a job. I work for myself, but I've never been busier, folks. I've never been busier. I've never been busier in the gold world. I've never been busier in the crypto world as I am right now. There's so many things that are happening. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. It's a bedlam, and it's the busiest I've ever been. So I apologize. It's gonna settle down, and we'll be able to get a good stride going. So I could be on YouTube every day and be on Gadfly every day, and make it happen. But thank you all for listening in. See what you got to say? Something?
That's it. Yep. Very well said.
With that being said, folks, again, go to the Gadfly. Awesome show that CJ and I recorded today. That will be up soon. And so make it happen. And thank you all for supporting us. And I'll be back tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow to rock out YouTube. So don't fret. All right, we'll have a lot of topics as well. So thank you all for your love, your support. We thank you. Bye-bye.